The typical atheist saying is, what happened before you're born is where you be when you die. But there are people who do remember before they were born. Yep, today we'll be again. There are so many people who have been talking about near-death experiences, and now they're finally being normalized in society. But there is another type of experience: pre-mortal or pre-birth existence or pre-birth memories. Pre-birth, pre-birth experiences or pre-birth memory is already popular in the Church of Latter-day Saints, and of course in Eastern cultures, because of course reincarnation is a central part to Eastern cultures. So both the Church of Latter-day Saints or Mormonism, and of course many Eastern culture and many Eastern religions such as Hinduism and reincarnation, have some type of existence before birth. Of course, in Eastern cultures, it is, of course, the journey of the souls. The soul must take a new body after they die until they escape the wheel of reincarnation. The Church of Latter-day Saints essentially teaches that, yeah, you existed before you were born, but there are hundreds of people that remember before they were born. They were meant, and there are various traits of a pre-birth memory that are very much in common. They are actually analogous to the NDEs, most NDEs. Number one, there is a ever-loving God, the God. This is analogous with an NDE. A lot of kids who have had pre-birth memories will call them coming from heaven. Call them coming from heaven onto earth. And people are like, oh, it's just religion. No, these are babies. They cannot be influenced by religion. Okay, there's actually an entire YouTube channel that's dedicated to this. Babies may actually be more smarter than people think. According to the materialist view of society, babies are just a blank slate, essentially. Okay, babies may know more than you think, which gives the word boss baby a whole new meaning. Am I right? The boss baby. He's so intelligent for being a baby. Babies actually may know more than you think. And of course, if you had a kid or a baby, or even a relative that had a kid or a baby, and they start talking about weird stuff like living on another planet or living before or reincarnation, they actually may be they may be on to something. Okay, although there's a lot of babies, people who are or kids. This is back to the reincarnation stories I mentioned in the afterlife video. A lot of them describe past lives or siblings that are not even born yet. Okay, a lot of these kids have recall a world that was not like our own. Okay, some babies also recall being, of course, in the womb and stuff. But we're going before that. We're going before the people were even born, which alludes to some type of existence before we were born. And I wouldn't be surprised if all of us had been there. Yep. But again, the reason why we can't remember before we're born is because of the veil of forgetfulness. The veil of forgetfulness makes us forget about our pre-birth memories. Of course, babies are very close to the other side. Right, before the veil of forgetfulness. This. And the veil of forgetfulness comes in after the age of 5 to 6. 6, essentially. To make sure the kid focuses on their new life. But people are actually recovering pre-birth memories through a multitude of solutions. Either through guided hypnosis, through meditation, or just spontaneously remembering them overall. And now, what is the features of a pre-birth memory? A pre-birth memory is analogous to an NDE. Pre-birth memories usually are in a light or a dark room, completely dark. There are other beings mostly with them, the mostly guides and elders. Again, these beings also appear in NDEs as well, implying there is something more than just this physical plane of existence out there. Implying that there is more than just this physical plane of existence out there. They also see a God, and some of them even also mention Jesus as well. meaning that Jesus must be one of these elder beings, elder gods as well, which would make actually a lot of sense considering that Jesus is, a center throne figure in a lot of cultures. Just another thing analogous in pre-birth memories is, of course, people picking their lives. People, you know, again, in a video game, you pick it and make your own character. It seems that in pre-birth memories, your soul, consciousness, life energy, or whatever you want to call it, your essence, okay, your life essence, your soul picks your lives, or your life is picked for you by the said beings. Also what's common in pre-birth memories is that there's no time, meaning that in the spirit world there's no such thing as time. There's no such thing as time in the spirit world, and time is relative compared to here. Here, another thing that is pretty common is that there is a flash of their lives before they incarnate on this planet. There is a threat again after and NDEs. A lot of people see their lives flash before their eyes. The same thing happens in pre-birth memories. And a lot of pre-birth memories, people will call picking their own lives, or having a selection of a couple of lives. They also recall seeing their parents before they were even born, and even communicating with their parents before they were even born. Meaning, where it's again, all my research into the paranormal stuff, okay, and all this, stuff about to see how, because I really want to know more about how this universe works, okay. I believe that the current way we're researching the universe is the wrong way we're going, okay. The science, of course, dismisses a lot of things, okay, but it seems that there is more to life than just these temporary meat suits that we're all living in. I think this is probably the same applies to animals as well. Of course, animals can't speak unless they're trained for like parrots, but I wouldn't be surprised if both of this communication stuff and pre-birth memories and after NDEs also happen to animals as well. It would make a lot of sense if they also happen to animals as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is just how the universe works. You have always have existed, okay? Even before you're born and after you die. You go to the same place that you exist, the same area you were before you were born. Which is again, you go back to the spirit world, or the afterlife, or the before life. Because if there's an afterlife, there has to be a before life, okay, as well. Or the great before and the movie Soul, or pre-life, or pre-mortal existence. Again, many Eastern religions describe this as well, a pre-mortal existence. But instead, this is the form, and instead, this is the form of reincarnation. Sin. And of course, in the Church of Latter-day Saints, or Mormonism, they also describe pre-birth, as well. So, that means yes, that means the boss baby actually is correct. In the movie The Boss Baby, babies pick their own parents and everything. Same thing with the movie Soul. It seems that those movies and same thing with Inside Out. The Boss Baby is probably it's probably not accurate, but movies like Soul and Inside Out portray your emotions as a bunch of guides going throughout your lives. Same thing with the movie Soul. You see guides in the movie Soul. So that means, and again, people are remembering this stuff. Okay? And of course, you have materialists, of course, saying that, oh, these are just false memories, these are just hallucinations, these are just dreams. But a lot of these people are very young. Some of these people are like 2 to 3. Okay? They don't know, they can't be influenced by religion. Okay? They can't be influenced by religion. Okay? Science needs to stop putting out the unexplained, like near-death experiences and other supernatural things as just hallucinations. We'll also get nowhere to understand the universe if science continues to go towards the materials thing. I believe in my lifetime, okay, especially if web extension comes, I believe materialism will be disproven. Why? Because materialism is just a. It was created by science because they wanted to try to explain the world. Again, science has always been changing, okay? For example, right now, science, the common accepted thing is that your brain is generated a consciousness and that the universe started in a big bang. Bang. We don't have the capacity of time travel to begin the universe. So the Big Bang is really just a theory because we don't know how to time travel yet. Okay? And again, science has always said there's more than just four dimensions in this world. And what really made me start thinking about this stuff is really someone in the comment section about the alien video told me that fifth dimensional beings probably exist. What if when you pass on, you go to the fifth dimension? This is a dimension that is far different than the physical three-dimensional world. Again, there's a lot of things that is unexplained in this world. I believe there's more going on in this universe than people think. There is more things in this universe that's going on than people think. There are people who are spontaneously remembering before they were born, remembering their purpose, remembering why they were there. Okay? Remembering their purpose in life. It seems that, yes, there is a meaning in life. The meaning in life is whatever purpose you picked before you're born. The meaning in life was created by you. You created the meaning of life. So there was no major question of the meaning of life because you created the meaning of life because you were the one that chose this existence. You're the one, your soul planned your existence. Okay? Again, your soul created you. You were created by the soul, and of course the desires of yourself. So your soul planned your life essentially, along with guides and other beings. And most people, of course there's gonna be people who are gonna be like skeptical about this, but how do you know all this? Well, ask anyone who has had a pre-birth memory. They will tell you it is very similar to a near-death experience. It is very similar and acknowledges to a near-death experience. I do believe there is some sort of a... After researching all of this stuff about what really happens after you die, I am 100% convinced there is some type of existence after this temporary physical life. And that life does go on in some way. Again, the first law of thermodynamics, already does prove that. Okay, the first law of thermodynamics says energy cannot be created or destroyed; it only changes forms. Okay, and again, in pre-birth memories, people describe a very similar world to a near-death experience. They describe a god. They describe heaven. They describe souls. They describe spirits. They describe the parents, and of course, they even describe future people and future events in great detail. They describe future people and future events in great detail. So, who knows how many times he truly lived before? Okay, who really knows? Again, my theory is that some souls could be trillions of years old. Some souls could be millions of years old. Okay, billions of years old. Okay, some souls evolve faster than others. Okay, some evolve faster or slower than others, and I believe that's the case. There are some souls that are very slow learners, and there are some souls that are very fast learners. So they have evolved to intelligent life far faster than a slow soul. Okay, that are likely still stuck in the animal kingdom. But again, eventually they'll realize that they're more than just a animal. They're more than just this, and I believe that every time a creature or being dies, it's you basically evolve. Okay, you learn something from that experience. You learn something from that experience of whatever life form you were, and you're supposed to evolve from that experience. You're supposed to evolve, grow, and evolve from said experience there. And I believe that's the whole point of reincarnation. It's supposed to evolve. Your soul evolves. Your being and essence evolve. Most of us are in the intelligent life forms. Okay, and when I say intelligent life forms, then I'm also talking about like interplanetary souls. There's a lot of people who will call lifetimes and existences on alien planets, there is something. There was something. There was something. Again, there is something more than just this reality. Okay, there's something more than this reality. Okay, and I think science is eventually gonna have to say, yeah, there's something more than just this reality and meat suits. Okay, that we live in. Okay, there's something more than just the physical meat suit reality that we all live in, as well. Okay, there's something. There's more than just this reality. Okay, there's part, and again, there's probably an infinite amount of universes and timelines to reincarnate in. Okay, if you want to live in a timeline, if you want to live in a world without Hitler, I'm just gonna use him as an example because I think because nobody likes Hitler. But if you want to live in a world without Hitler, then that's a world you want to live in. If you want to live, and again, I believe the whole reason why someone like Hitler exists, so he can show how bad humanity is. Okay, I bet that was probably his purpose. I bet his soul purposely picked that life to show, yeah, how bad humanity can get, how he can, and again, I believe that his purpose worked. There hasn't been a war, there hasn't been massive war, a World War III yet. So it seems that Hitler's purpose must have worked, because there's no World War III. There hasn't been really much horrible things since Hitler died. So obviously his purpose in life worked. I believe every being in every life has a purpose in some form. Okay, every being in every creature's life has a purpose, either to reproduce, either to, even very very short lives. All lives have a purpose, and I believe that same purpose is to spread love and friendship and compassion in some type of formal way, or learn a valuable lesson from that existence. Again, I bet people have to go. I bet humans are probably gonna have to reincarnate hundreds of thousands of times to really understand how it works. Most of us are on the long haul, yeah. Okay, most of us will likely reincarnate. Okay, for example, when my life ends as me, I'm not gonna say my name because I don't want to, but when my life ends as me, okay, I will have left an impact on this world either one way or another. Okay, I believe that I believe all creatures are born with a purpose. Okay, and again, the whole thing of non-existence defeats the whole purpose of life. If you cease to exist after death, then what is the whole point of living? Okay, that's one of my points is, what is the whole point of living? And I believe pre-birth memories gives us the insight that yes, you have existed before birth. Okay, you will likely exist after death. Okay, almost certainly exist after death. Okay, and again, when most people discuss the afterlife, nobody ever discusses pre-birth memories because they're very very obscure. They are not that they're very 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 they're not really that well understood, and they are very very underreported compared to a near-death experience. With the near-death experiences are widely reported now. Around 20% of the population report near-death experiences. And I wouldn't be surprised if that number is higher. There's a lot of people who are scared to sell near-death experiences, and I bet the rest of people probably forget because of the veil of forgetfulness. Of course, when you're still alive or you're not meant to die, the veil of forgetfulness protects you from the afterlife because a lot of people do become depressed or out of place with society once they realize that yeah, there is something better than this world. Once they realize there's something better than this world that they live in, they some people probably don't, again, it would interfere with the purpose in life. It would interfere with the purpose in life, so that's why I don't think everybody has a near-death experience when they nearly die. So when they nearly die. Again, there's other ways to induce this type of thing. For example, meditation is another way, or guided hypnosis through past life, regression is another way to induce that similar type of experience out there. So, what can we learn from pre-birth memories? First of all, there is that babies are much smarter than you think they are. People think that babies are a blank slate. That is far from the truth. That is far from the truth because there's a lot of babies who are able to babies or consciousness that are able to communicate with the mothers or even see and know stuff about the mothers before they were even born. Okay, there is something more than just this physical reality. Okay, and again, once it's your time to go, and when it's my time to go, we will all be welcomed by a welcome home party. Again, your time to go could be through many, many ways. It could be through a disease. It could be through, of course, an accident or a murder or something else. But when it's your time to go to the non-physical world, it is your time. Okay, and again, many people who are and again, pre-birth experiences, just like near-death experiences, are found all across the world. But unlike near-death experiences, they're widely underreported. They're widely underreported. Even I have a weird memory of a white room, you know, that very recently resurfaced. And again, it kind of reminded me of that one scene in that 2001 Space Odyssey, but without all the pillars and stuff. So yeah, so that's what pre-birth memories are widely underreported and widely under talked about. But the great before from Seoul is a place people do truly remember. It is a place that truly does exist. Okay? And again, in some cultures, pre-mortal existence is taught, either through reincarnation or how the Church of Latter-day Saints teaches it. So there we go. So people are more, you know, and I bet once the veil starts to thin further and further, or the veil of forgetfulness, I bet probably everybody will have these memories. Okay, people, a certain percent of the population already does remember their pre-mortal existence. They already do. And there are ways you can recover those memories through, of course, meditation or hypnosis. Yes. And again, it's a very, very widely underreported phenomenon. And again, and again, this just proves that there is something else at work than what we think there is. And another thing of pre-birth memories is that some souls and some consciousness feel like they're forced to reincarnate again. They feel like they are forced to, like it's their duty. Well, of course, the guides, spirit guides, and elders, of course, comfort them before they reincarnate on this planet. I believe once we figure out more and more and more about the secret world of the spirit, that from near-death experiences, pre-birth memories, and a lot of other things, I believe that this world will be a much more happier place. Again, a lot of people in near-death experiences were shown a earth that was practically heaven. So, I think once we start to piece together this world, I believe that first of all, materialism will be gone. Okay, the idea that consciousness is created in the brain, people will become less materialistic, essentially. Okay, there will still be rich people. Okay, but rich people will be more helpful than just hoarding all the money for themselves. Communism will likely fall. Okay, but again, communism is basically an ideology of the rich, an ideology of materialism, atheism. Again, atheism started popping up around the time of communism. Essentially, it started popping up around the time of communism in the communist era of the world. It started popping up on that time, and around that time. And again, materialism also started popping around at the same time. And again, let's look at how it is in countries like Russia and China. China, there isn't really much religion in China. No. Besides, because they don't allow religion in China. And I'm not really a big fan of organized religion that much either. I'm not really a big fan of organized religion, but that much either. I've never been a extremely religious person, at all. So, but the fact that there are some people that remember, that have clear memories, and again, that have clear memories before they were born, and they are very, very, very similar to near death experiences, just where they see the lives flash before their eyes, but instead before they're being born, they remember picking their lives, choosing their lives. They remember guides, and spirit guides, and of course master elders or ascended masters, you know, or religious figures who are likely our ascended masters as well, you know, as well, beings who have beings who have mastered this world to help us, guide all of us towards a more prosperous and peaceful human existence. So this human existence, human existence, that's what I mean by the phrase "we are one, but we are many." We are one with God, but we are also many. It's like the many cells that make up a human body. Okay, cells are their own individual thing, but they help make up a much larger being, which is a human being. Again, that's what the analogy is, that we are one and we are many. That's what the human cells is basically. All living beings are made of the same universal energy. They're made of all the same universal energy. It's not just us humans that are, that are basically subject to the same rules and laws of the universe. I believe all animals, down from amoeba, for in a tardigrade, to have something as complex as a human or a blue whale, all have the same, all experience the same thing. And humanity is the only being that is aware of its death, and is aware of and is aware of most of the things that happen. That in the future, humans will soon probably aware of what happens in the future. And again, science will probably still consider saying the same thing and even though there's a lot of studies done to this stuff, because most science now is basically materialism, and I do believe there's something more than this realm, the physical world. I believe there is something higher than this physical world. I think it's complete. I think, believing, you know, there's something more than just the physical world is very, very, very logical. Again, I view most things from a logical standpoint of view. Okay, I view things from a logical standpoint of view. I do not believe in eternal torture. Okay, no soul is even the worst of the worst. All souls have a purpose and do not deserve a eternal torture or eternal torment. Essentially, yes, there might be a temporary torment, which is basically the hellish and the ease, but not a eternal torment. Okay, eternal torment, because again, they're gonna have to heal in some way or form, and of course, gonna learn something from that experience that they lived on. So yep, that's basically it about this video. So about this video, and goodbye.